Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
Hey YouTube, I'm Chris Pirillo, and this is your Geek Out for Friday, May 25th, 2012. A reminder, we are sponsored by GoToAssist, and if you are looking for an easier way to control desktop, server, any kind of computer remotely from one location, check out GoToAssist.com. Click the Try It Free button and use the promo code Pirillo. So what links do we have to share? Let's see here. 35 years ago, in a galaxy far, far away, it's Geek Pride Day! If you didn't already realize it, this is the day that Star Wars was released. And I don't know if half of my audience was even alive when Star Wars was released. And I'm not talking about the prequels, okay? If the movie had Jar Jar Binks in it, it doesn't count. I still remember where I was when I bought my first Star Wars figure. I remember seeing Star Wars in the theaters with my dad, but the only scene I can remember is when the X-Wings were fighting at the end of the movie. Am I the only one who remembers seeing the original Star Wars in movie theaters? 5 ways Google Plus could improve. I've gone on record saying that I love Google Plus. The engagement there for me is, I would say, quite high. But some people don't really like Google Plus, and there are many reasons why they would say something like this. So some suggestions on what Google might fix: repetitive posts. We're kind of tired of those. Sometimes you see them, sometimes you don't, and I think that's speaking specifically to the updates that I might post to my profile. You may not see every single one of them if you have that slider throttled at a different level other than all. Lack of a robust API. This is probably important if you're a developer or if you're thinking that Google Plus should be competing with Facebook. Facebook has something called an API, or an application programming interface. Google Plus has an API, but it's far from extensive. Then there's the lack of Hangout moderation tools and audio issues that abound in Google Plus Hangouts. Some people say that the Hangout is the best thing Google Plus has going for it, but to me, a Hangout is just a feature. It's definitely not a social network. What is a jump cut? Well, these Geek Out videos are now filled with jump cuts. It's a style of editing. So instead of going with a transition, you would just jump from one segment to another seamlessly. I'm not saying that you can't go for smooth transitions if you want, or like a star wipe and a fade. It's just that jump cuts keep things moving along quickly. Some people do very well with jump cuts, other people not so much. We obviously are still working on our jump cut timing. There's also the L cut, the straight cut, the match cut, the form cut, the bump, the fade. Oh no, wait, those are haircuts. Why good developers make bad software? Well, I can tell you what I think. I'm a user, and I love using software. Services, yes, on the web, that counts as software too. To me, when I'm communicating with a developer, they've got it in their head that this is the only way it should work, whereas the user thinks, no, this is the way it should work. And developers tend to have egos that are larger than the average Hollywood superstar. If only developers would open their mind as much as they've opened their software. What is a denial of service, or DOS, attack? That's essentially when one computer sends packets of information that aren't really, well, valid to another computer, and that essentially cuts off the service from that computer to the rest of the world. Bottom line, a denial of service attack is a bad thing. Microsoft set to offer 80-inch Windows 8 tablets for offices. Apparently, Steve Ballmer has an 80-inch Windows 8 tablet in his office. He got rid of his phone? Why would you get rid of your phone? Ballmer, you're nuts! Certifiably. But of course, I appreciate seeing the larger Windows 8 computers that you're going to be enabling at some point in the near future. The next web is reporting that Facebook may be acquiring browser maker Opera. Now, this is interesting because Facebook doesn't have a web browser, and for most people, Facebook is the web. It's what they use to communicate with one another. It's what they use to share information about themselves. Facebook is huge. Despite the stumblings that Facebook had with their IPO, people aren't going to stop using Facebook. Now, they don't have to come back crawling on their hands and knees because Facebook, of course, is going to take them with open arms. If Facebook purchased Opera, they would finally have a way to cut Google out of the picture, Microsoft out of the picture, and, well, rule the internet. Yahoo kills Livestand after 6 months. Did anybody know that Livestand was even a product? Cameron D. Ryan on LockerGnome.net asked, how come 2 gigabyte flash drives are $10, but 40 gigabytes worth of DVD RWs are $7? I guess it's not necessarily the cost of production, it's just the cost of convenience. dansermeddrenger on YouTube asked, hey Chris, Do you drive every day to a coffee shop for a cup of coffee? Don't you have a coffee machine? I do have a coffee machine. Actually, I have several coffee machines, and none of them worked exceedingly well. I can't get a flavor that's strong enough at home, and I also like getting out of the house. Just like I mentioned in the vlog the other day. Not that I'm looking for interesting things to record in the vlog, just that I don't want to spend my entire day sitting in front of... Actually, that's a pretty cool screensaver. PJ Hannah from Nomies asked, how do you get all those great discounts you show in your vlog? Well, I use a variety of applications, and of course, I keep my eye out for anything related to a discount on something that I'm likely to do anyway. I mean, why would you pass up a 50% discount? If you were going to get something, no matter what, you might as well save money in the process. I have no problem saying that I clip coupons. Ethan123 on LockerGnome.net asked, if we send AI robots to combat, would that be a bad idea? How would that be a bad thing? The realist side of me knows that war is going to happen, so I guess I'd rather save lives where we can. Wingnut4427 from YouTube asked on one of our vlogs, spinach into chocolate? How? I have no idea. In case you guys didn't realize it by now, my wife is magical. She can do things that I never would have thought possible. She is a food alchemist. Almighty Yogurt on YouTube asked, what is the artist that Chris likes? You're probably referring to Justin Hillgrove. Art should be something that you connect to. You know, you see it and it evokes an emotion. And I've been a fan since the first painting that I saw that I do also have hanging up right there. AVGR Boy on LockerGnome.net asked, did internet really kill television? Yeah, it kind of killed it. If nothing else, then TV, as we know it, has been seriously maimed. I still like watching television, but I gotta tell you, 85% of the content that I see comes through on the screens in front of me that have nothing to do with television. This screen, those screens, this screen. The future of television is already in your hands. Literally. WZ0077 on YouTube asked, Chris, can you please show us your whole collection of Lego minifigures? Stay tuned to an upcoming vlog. I'll do just that. Andrew90388 on YouTube asked an age-old question, which I seem to answer every other day. Hey, Chris, I wanted to ask you, what is the best webcam for broadcasting? Whatever webcam you can get a hold of. Although, typically speaking, the webcam that's built into your computer probably sucks. Make sure you have good lighting, make sure your audio's set perfectly, and really, it doesn't matter what webcam you use. Hawk8509 on Twitter asked, what are you doing for Geek Pride Day? Star Wars marathon? Going out and about with a towel? Neither one of those things, at least not that I know of. I just plan on being myself. Oh, I'm also hoping and praying that you're going to continue to ask good questions, whether on Twitter, YouTube, on my email address. Well, you can't really ask questions on an email address, but if you email to me, chris@pirillo.com. LockerGnome.net is another resource for you to use to get those questions asked and answered, because we can't do this without you. Hang on, I think Diana's trying to install DOS in the other room. We'll see you later. Actually, can I call it DOS attacks? I mean, last version of DOS I remember using was 6.22. Can't remember feeling attacked. Facebook made a change. Wah, but they're not going to quit Facebook. They never do. And even those who do, they come back.